What is up, my Fortnite friends? Johnny5 Alive here, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys a survival squads guide. This is going to be great for both beginners and advanced players. I'm going to teach you guys how to maximize the potential on how to make your character melt face. So first thing up is, what is survival squads? It's essentially different squads where you put a lead survivor and survivors in. You get these survivors by doing quests, missions, opening pinatas, and doing expeditions. So every time you put in survivors into these squads, it increases your core stats: fortitude, offense, resistance, and tech. Now, the important thing to notice about this guide is the bonuses, and I'm going to talk heavily about that in a bit. And this is really going to put your squads over the top. So how do you unlock these survivor slots? If you click the little lock, it'll actually show you where you can get them on the skill tree. And the two ways to unlock these survivor slots are through skill points and research points. Skill points you earn by leveling up your commander just by playing missions, getting EXP. You earn skill points, and you want to rush for all the squad slots. As you can see, all my research nodes pretty much end every time I get a slot. And by rushing for them, you're going to increase your power as quickly as possible. Same goes for research. Research is gained over time. Rush for your slots, head to the next one. That's going to basically min-max you as quickly as possible, and unlocking those squad slots is very key. And sometimes there's a little bit of strategy in which ones you go and get. For example, if you're about to unlock this third slot, you might want to click and find out where you get it on the skill tree, because whenever you have threes, pairs of threes, that's when you're going to see the most benefit from any given squad. So that's really the key aspect about this, is how to get those bonuses. And those bonuses come from pairing 3 out of 3 bonus skills on survivors. So at first, the goal is going to be to pair up 3 survivors that all share the same bonus. It doesn't matter if their personalities match or don't match, but the end goal is to essentially have, there's 8 personalities and 8 squads and 8 different jobs. So you're going to want to eventually get one lead that fits the job. Doctor here, marksman here, they all have to fit the job match, plus have a personality that's different from the rest. No duplicates. So again, there's 8 personalities, 8 jobs, and 8 squads. So in order to get them all to align, you're going to have to do some shuffling. You might have to, you know, settle for a blue guy here instead of a purple, because you might not have, they might have the same personality. And it's ideal to try and have one of each. So that's your end game goal, is to try and have the proper lead in the job description and a one-of-a-kind personality. For now, starting off, you don't really have to worry about that as much. As you start getting more survivors, more leads, you can try and shuffle things into place and get it to where something like I have it here, where pretty much every single person is in the proper squads. By having one personality of each, as you can see, I can, whenever I get a legendary survivor, it doesn't really matter what their personality is, because I know as soon as I unlock the next slot for that squad, I can put them in. So it's it gives you more options, more versatility, and more wiggle room. So I really want to get into the meat of this, which is anyone can do this from the beginning. Even if you can't match anything up, you can't match the personalities, the best thing to do is match the bonuses. So you want to rush for 3 out of 3 bonuses. So having 3 people available, or 6, is what's going to make you as powerful as possible. So to get into it, there are 3 out of 3 bonuses in this game. As you can see, range damage bonus requires 3 survivors all to have the ranged ability in order to get a 5% damage to your guns. There are also 2 out of 2 damage bonuses, which only require 2 people. and that's going to give you some tertiary bonuses, such as 5% bonus to shields. So let's go over the 4. There's 4 3 out of 3s and 4 2 out of 2s. Let's go over those now. So the very most important one, in my opinion, is the range damage bonus team. So you're going to want to keep everybody that has this bullet on them, even the greens. So I have a ton of different green guys that have the bullet, just in case, you know, they're great because they're great filler. I might not have, I might only have 2 out of 3 range bonus. A green really helps you get that 3 out of 3, and as long as you upgrade them, they're potentially better than blues or even purples, but it just takes a little bit more evolving. Ideally, I'll want to replace this with a blue later, but that's why the greens are great, because overall, these survivors are affecting your fortitude, offense, resistance, and tech. In the EMT squad, they're specifically affecting my fortitude. However, you know, if I were to replace her with any legendary, it doesn't really go up that much. I don't gain that much health. I would much rather sacrifice having a legendary card in here for this range damage bonus, because 5% to my overall DPS is going to add up. And when you do that 8 times to receive a 40% damage bonus, you are melting face. So that's what you want to aim for as soon as possible, even if their personalities didn't match. So if I didn't have an analytical marksman or a range damage bonus character, I'm still better off going with anybody that matches the bonus, even if their personalities don't match. So the thing about personalities matching, guys, it does give you a boost to the stat. You can see my fortitude dropped, but I'd again rather have my fortitude drop in order to get that bonus. So don't worry about their personalities too much until you've got a nice assortment of leads. Just go for that bonus and then level them up accordingly, because even if I put this blue girl in here, where was she? Even this one, and I leveled the crap out of her, eventually there's going to be a team that's pragmatic that needs a range damage bonus character. So that's what I'm getting at, is the range damage bonus is amazing. Don't be afraid to just upgrade all of your survivors that have it and fit them in everywhere. That's the best skill in the game, because even if you're playing a ninja, you're going to back out of combat, let your shield regen, and you'll be pulling out a ranged weapon to do damage in the meantime. So all characters benefit from that range damage bonus. The next one on the list is the melee damage bonus, and I would argue that it's not nearly as good as the range damage, because it's very specific. It's very specific to the ninja and constructor only. Whereas the ranged benefits both the constructor and the ninja also. More so the soldier and the outlander, and even the constructor, depending on your playstyle. More of your characters that you collect in this game are going to benefit from range damage. The only character that really benefits from you going crazy with stacking these melee damage bonuses is your ninja, who also uses ranged weapons. So it's a bit of a loss, in my opinion, in potential. So, especially because soldiers rip up so much damage that, you know, you just wouldn't do nearly as much damage when playing a soldier, because you're losing out on all that range damage bonus you could have had. So, again, melee damage, not that good unless you're absolutely obsessed with ninja and that's all you play every day. That's the only time I would say, yeah, go for it. The third one up is trap damage. Where is it? Here. So trap damage bonus 1 out of 3. That gives you 5% more trap damage. Again, not really worth it, because 80 to 90% of the game you're running around saving survivors, doing encampments, gathering, killing, doing storm chests, all that stuff. And then by the end of the mission you might build something or you might not. And for that one time in the game where you're defending, you're still using your ranged weapons to defend your base. So unless you're absolutely obsessed with the, you know, the constructors, and that's all you like to do is build traps, and you basically just sit back and let your base do all the work, and you don't like to shoot at all, and maybe when survival mode comes out, you might, you know, rely a little bit heavier on your traps, then that would be good for you. So it's really on your playstyle. But again, while you're defending your traps, your base, there's a good chance you could just pull out your gun and shoot them. Therefore, your range damage bonus is also going to prevail. So in every situation, this always comes out on top. The fourth one is the ability damage bonus. And that's the wrench, this guy. That upgrades your ability damage by 5%. Now, this is actually the most useless in my opinion, because some characters like the Outlander don't even have damaged abilities. It's going to affect the Soldier and the Ninja the most, the DPS classes. However, their abilities are on cooldown. So every 10 seconds you're able to use an ability. For the other 10 seconds, you're gaining 0 benefit from this ability. However, while your skills are on cooldown, what are you doing? You're using your melee weapon or ranged weapon. So again, those other stats prevail. So I would never, ever, ever go for the ranged damage ability. So those are your 3 out of 3 stacks, and you're going to want to stack those, and that's going to spec your character. And again, I swear by the 40% damage. You're just going to melt face. It's going to do so much more. And eventually what I can do is get 3 out of 3 twice. That's going to give me 80% damage overall, and that makes things even better. However, there's also a B to this, because there's 7 slots. So you're either going to go 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3, and you're just going to have a fodder character. The fodder characters actually come in handy. As you can see here, I have a trap damage bonus character, trap durability character, and I'm probably never ever going to use that bonus, ever. So she's great for the 7th slot because she's legendary. The stronger the card, the more it affects the main stat. So what you're going to want for a 7th slot is a strong stat card, a legendary or mythic that's pretty much got a garbage throwaway bonus, because there's just not enough bonuses to pair it up. So those characters actually become beneficial if you go with the 3-3 combo. The other way of doing it is to go with a 3-2-2. So as you can see, there are 2 out of 2 bonuses in this game as well, and there's 4 of those. So we're going to go over those real quick. We have the shield bonus, which I personally think is the best. Because you can see here, I have 6,000 shield, 12,000 health. Now, shields are always going to be roughly half of what your health is. However, your health is really hard to heal. You need med packs, which is a gadget, or you need healing pads on the ground, and it regenerates very, very, very slowly your health. Shields, all you got to do is duck out of combat for 3 or 4 seconds, and your shield comes back to full. Therefore, your shield is a self-healing resource. So, the more you upgrade that self-healing resource, the more powerful it becomes. It's going to benefit you overall a lot. Also, the more you upgrade your resistance, so any of your squads, like your gadgeteers, then your shield will also go up, and your scouting party. So you can upgrade those squads by just leveling up the survivors within the squad, get your resistance up, and then any bonuses to your shield will give you 5% of that more. So I personally feel like the shields are the best. The second best is health 5%, because it's going to increase 5% of your health, which is double that of your shield. So you gain more bonus. However, it does not self-regenerate as well as shields do. So I take shields over health again. The third stat is, I guess I didn't show you guys that stat. I have a combo over here, right here. That's the health bonus. And then the third one is the shield regen. And I think I have one guy or two. This one, the little battery, that's your shield regen. Now this, in my opinion, is one of the worst stats, because your shield regenerates. It takes about 3 to 5 seconds to go from nothing to full. So you just duck out for 5 seconds. Let's just say you stacked up these guys everywhere and got 100% regen, so it came back twice as fast. Now you're only ducking out of combat for 2.5 seconds instead of 5. I mean, it adds up. It's significant, but again, you would have twice as much shields had you gone the other way. So you're ducking out of combat for less time. However, you would have never needed to duck out of combat had you had twice as much shields. So in my opinion, I don't mind waiting the extra second and having a gigantic tank of shields. So I would only go with that is if you had 2 legendary regen guys. Then you're like, well, yeah, because they're overall going to affect the stat more. and give me the bonus. So you can't go wrong when they're legendaries. And that goes for anything, guys. If you have 3 legendary or mythic damage characters, you might as well put them in. Take the 5% bonus because they're legendary and they're going to affect things a lot more. So that's the exception, is the legendary or mythicness of your heroes. Next up is trap durability. Do I have one here? That's damage. Oh, I actually have one slotted in. The fodder girl. Trap durability bonus 1 out of 2. This will increase your durability by 8% if you get it, plus 8%. This is kind of trash to me because sure, you can make your traps last longer. Every trap has a certain amount of uses. So say if it had 100 uses, this is going to make it have 108 uses by having this combo. If you stack it enough times, sure, you could have 200 uses. However, there's never really a situation where your traps run out. And if they do, it's usually in one area that's getting a lot of traffic from zombies. And you can just run over there and throw down another trap the moment it runs out. So again, would you rather have 6,000 more shields, or would you rather have traps that just never disappear when all you have to do is replace them? It's not that big of a deal. It's not worth the investment when considering on what you would be losing out on. So having said all that, guys, the summary is range damage bonus 5%, shield bonus, and with the exception of sometimes health. Basically stack your damage and your shields, and that's going to be the best way to min-max. So going back to our combos, there might come a situation where you go, okay, I got 3 out of 3 ranged, and then you can go, I got 3 out of 3 ranged again. And then the last guy, again, he's just a fodder card. You could throw in any legendary, mythic, or something that doesn't pair with anything else. Throw him in there, and bam, you get the most benefit for ranged. Or you can go 3 ranged, 2 shield, 2 shield. And that whole squad is going to give you 5% range and 10% shield. In the end, what's possible is 40% damage and 80% shields. Or 40% damage, or 50, 60, and maybe 60 or 50 shields. You can kind of play around with a little bit and maybe throw some health in there once in a while. But ideally, what I would aim for is 80% more damage done. Screw all the shields, anything like that. Go straight for that. If you're melting face, you're not going to be taking damage. And that's the best way to go. You're still going to up your shields, your health, your traps, and all that through your fortitude, offense, and resistance, because these things, fortitude increases your health and regen, offense increases your ranged and melee, resistance increases your shield and regen rate. So the bonuses just make them better. All right, the one thing you want to make better is your offense, and in doing so, you can also just level the crap out of everyone in your fire team and your close assault squad. Leveling up these guys as much as possible is going to overall give you the strongest offense. Then when you increase it by 5%, it's 5% of a much larger number. So so far with this nearly 600 offense skewing way ahead of my other stats, plus 40% damage done on top of that, in every single game I've played, I've even played with people 15 levels higher than me that are playing soldiers, and I'm out DPSing them on an Outlander. It makes a huge difference getting this optimal squad. So in closing, guys, that's basically the gist of it. What you really want to do going into this is just pair up as many bonuses as you can. Try to get the most valuable card in there, and if possible, try to match their personality, because a personality match is always going to give you bonus points. Try to stay focused on leveling up characters that affect offense, or squads that affect offense, and eventually strive for having one lead of every personality. Other than that, your leads don't really make too much of a difference overall. It's really about who's in the squad. So that should be your focus. And you know, if for example you go into your gadget tier squad and you see you're kind of further back in the game than I am, and you see you have 2 out of 2 slots, figure out what that third slot requires and try and go for that right away. Then once you have that third slot unlocked, you can go, okay, do I have any guys that have range damage? Don't really worry about their personalities unless you can. It's always a bonus. But in my opinion, if I had to get rid of this legendary character because she wasn't range damage bonus, and I had to give her up for a green, I would do it. Because what am I losing from this squad? A little bit of resistance. But what am I gaining? 5% more damage. So again, this goes back to trying to get your best squads to be your fire team alpha and your close assault squad. If there's any team you want to match up perfectly in terms of the strongest leader, the best match of personalities, it's going to be your offense squads. And that's the key to this build and how to get your character to melt face as much as possible. If you go to all your survivors, you can pretty much chuck all your greens that are not range damage bonus. Keep all the green range damage bonuses because it's going to help you get the numbers you need to get those bonuses. You can pretty much get rid of everything else that's not range damage bonus with the exception of legendaries. You know, eventually I'm going to use these guys somewhere. I'll put them at the very end. Ability damage bonus. His personality is competitive, so he will eventually go at the end here. So I'll still make use of that legendary. His legendary stats is gonna make him a very powerful card, so he'll put towards the offense, and I'll already have 2 3 out of 3 bonuses here. So I don't care that he's an ability damage legendary. I'll eventually make use of him. So that should be your goal going into this, guys. And I'll tell you right now, if you shuffle things around and do what I said in this guide, and you can manage to get that 40% extra damage done and crank your offense up as much as possible by dumping EXP into these survivors, you will notice an immediate difference, and you will be just tearing things up with a pistol. Just bam, bam, bam. 1, 2, 3 shotting everything, including miss monsters. And it makes a huge difference. So there you go, guys. That's my guide on the survival squads. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to smash that like button, share it with your friends, and all that good stuff. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye now.